up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Think Dimension, the only gaming podcast for the modern gigabrain gamer. I'm your host, Dan Video Gibbs, and with me, as always, are my excellent co-host. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Dan.
From GigaBoots.com. KZ Excellent from KZExcellent.com.
I'm on a big Nutrigrain kick today.
You should try Fig Newtons. And Mr. Feel from Mr. Feel's Wild Ride.
I wish I had some Fig Newtons.
What about Nutrigrain bars? Don't you wish you had some of those?
No one does that.
I've never eaten one of those, and I'm going to
right.
try and continue that streak.
You need to do that alongside great stuff that we're working on, like the Days Gone spoiler cast. You need to play Days Gone, kill some freakers while eating a Nutrigrain bar.
And let's do simulate the apocalypse.
You know what?
You're surviving on food-esque items.
Yes.
Yep.
Like you load up Fallout 4 and you find like the ancient freeze-dried beans and the Muncho Max whatever the fuck craft dinner equivalent. It's like Nutrigrain bar.
Yep, that'd be good.
And it gives you like 15 rads.
Let me explain a Nutrigrain bar, okay? I'm going to break it down. Imagine that someone who hadn't eaten a Fig Newton had to imagine how it tasted, and it also didn't feel solid, like because they didn't have a good enough imagination. That's what a Nutrigrain bar tastes like. It tastes like it's just syrupy over fake fruit flavor in the middle.
It's real fruit,
surrounded by terrible, terrible crust that just is disgusting and awful. And at the end of it, you go, I'm not full. What happened here?
Don't you think you're being a little mean?
No. As a person who's eaten more than his fair share of Nutrigrain bars, I am not being mean. Nestle got my money. I want my life back. Bob, what do you think about Nutrigrain bars?
I really don't like them.
Okay.
They got apple, strawberry, blueberry, blackberry, and apple.
Oh, they have apple? I didn't know that.
Aren't they all actually an apple with different flavors?
Biscuits?
Yeah, actually, Bob, just like Pop-Tarts used to be, a lot of the Nutrigrain bars, at least this used to be the case, are in fact just apple. Because apples are cheap. Especially when you use
chewy
garbage apples. What?
Oh, is it like they just shove a bunch of apple cores into the grinder?
Yeah, and they're not even good apple cores. They're Red Delicious apple cores.
That means they're delicious.
No, just because it's in the name doesn't mean it's true.
No, that's like saying Golden Corral isn't a corral.
This joke,
I question if Golden Corral is real.
It is real. They're the new and improved Golden Corral.
The line of thought here, debating whether or not it is a corral, leads to questions I'm not willing to ask, even ironically.
You need to ask these questions.
No, I don't. So we're gonna move on to what we're
trying to say. Taco Bell doesn't have a bell.
I mean, they do, but at
McDonald's
the picture
doesn't have a Mick.
Fun fact: Taco Bell was not named after missionary bells. Its founder's surname was Bell.
It's true. And that highly mediocre hot sauce that they have, that's, I don't know, it's a 7 out of 10. That is actually the whole reason the restaurant exists, because people were like, oh, this hot sauce is so good, you should just give me tacos to eat it on.
Okay, I need to do a real quick poll here among these four people.
Sure, yeah, fuck this podcast, it can wait.
Does the Diablo sauce suck?
Yes. Bob?
Yeah, it's not as good as the others.
I think it's not significantly hotter than the fire sauce, but it has like a barbecue flavor that isn't good.
Yeah, it doesn't have a very fleshed out flavor, and it does just have a little bit more burn and a little bit more, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
It's like an artificial smoke flavor.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like that. I was really disappointed when I tried it. I still haven't tried the breakfast salsa.
I'm also disappointed that they got rid of the Taco Bell fire sauce or the Diablo. It was one of the hot ones. Like, they have little quotes on the packets now. Mm-hmm. They removed some of them that were basically the sauce calling you a cuck.
Yeah, I remember those.
What?
That was a real moment.
Like the fire sauce, like one of the quotes was, call her, and another one of the quotes was, you won't.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the The sauce had some interesting quotes on it. We should get to what we've been playing over the last week, though, seeing as how this is a gaming podcast and not a fast food. But before we do...
hey, do you want to be like every other gaming podcast and talk about wrestling? No.
Taco Bell is our wrestling.
My God.
I'm so okay with that. Jesus, I'm perfectly fine with that. A real quick question. Has anyone tried the breakfast salsa?
No.
Okay, so I have to be the fucking canary. Got it.
None of us go there for breakfast.
You do.
We
won't engage with that, but we'll engage with Days Gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Much more palatable.
Taco Bell didn't have an E3 ceremony where they hustled people from one room to another to show them overly ornate presentations about all the hot sauces that weren't breakfast salsa.
If Taco Bell brought me to a church, I'd pray.
If Taco Bell brought Dan Reichert to a church, he'd get married.
Hey, he's regretting that because he had to pay like fucking 5 figures afterward in taxes.
Yeah, did I tell you about that, Bob?
Well, hey, that's crazy.
Because they gave him so much shit, and he's like, oh, I don't want some of this stuff. And they're like, that's how the deal works. You have to take it. And then because he was getting prizes that were worth thousands and thousands of dollars, he had to pay taxes on it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
He used his internet celebrity status to win a contest to get married at a Taco Bell.
Hashtag the dream.
Right.
Take that, religious ceremony.
Yep.
Okay, I'll check out the breakfast salsa sometime. Bob, what have you been playing over the last week?
The only thing new I've played is I tried out Senran Kagura Burst Renewal.
Which I'm sad to hear isn't the fucking pinball game.
It's not. That's not out yet.
No, that's Peach Ball.
I just want the pinball game. That's all I've ever wanted. I look forward to that releasing because I just want a fucking new pinball game. Speaking of which, Adam's Family Table no longer available on Zen Pinball or Arcade Pinball, whatever it's called now. So
tragic.
They're doing they're doing a Star Wars pinball thing on Switch.
Is it going to tank their company?
Maybe. Yeah, they're doing like boards for all the films and.
Didn't they already do that on the other platforms?
I don't know. I just saw someone mention that it was existing on Switch soon.
The Last Jedi board fucking ends, and when you run out of balls, it was like, whatever, you didn't get points anyways. And it just undoes your score.
Yeah, it's just getting exclusive features for the Switch version.
Oh, okay.
You put in your initials, and it just, after you hit enter, it replaces it with dipshit.
Oh, if only there's like a PC thing, we could make like a mod where it's Field doing the Kylo Ren voice over the machine.
That would be
multi-ball. That
would be really good.
Just whenever you die, you have to let go of the past.
And then it makes your generic like pinball movie sound effect where it's just like boom,
ding. Ding, ding, bow, wow, 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 ding.
Can you imagine Kylo Ren like working as like a corporate thing where it's like, hi, I paid for this and I want a refund. Let the past die. The money is gone.
It's Microsoft tech support. My Xbox Red rings. Let the past die.
I ranted about this on Twitter.
If you must.
I ranted about this on Twitter, but I was listening to a gaming podcast and some dude wrote in to be like, gamers hate change. Just look at how they received the Xbox One's launch setup with the internet connection.
Ugh.
It's like,
really?
Fuck you.
It's like clearly the most anti-consumer thing they could possibly do. But this is the future.
But Bob, it's different, so it's progressive.
I see people like trying to roll that back. They're like, see, everyone's buying digital stuff now, and it's like maybe they were right. I'm like, yeah, that was also 6 years ago.
Well, not only that, it's like...
Also, they weren't right because me buying something digitally doesn't remove the ability for me to buy something physically.
Right, and it doesn't remove your ability to sell that physical thing, and it doesn't remove your ability to send that physical thing to someone else so they could play it. All of these
Think
things
about
it
the
didn't
innovation
support.
that we, the gamers, denied everyone when we got mad at the Xbox.
Microsoft gave us their good grace, and we spat in their faces like fucking sacrilegious heathens. How dare we?
Don't worry, they'll just try to roll it out every 3 years.
They wanted to give us TV.
I'm pretty sure that you don't actually have to be online to play your digital purchases most of the time.
No, it just authenticates it for that one console. Yeah, it's tied to that. Which is basically like a lot of people haven't fucking read what they were planning. They just decided to have an opinion on it in advance. That's what their plan was going to be with that anyways. It was going to be tied to your console. You couldn't share it with people over the internet. It's just other people in your household could play it.
Right.
That's not... You've gained nothing!
Yeah, it's the exact same thing that's going on now.
Except you don't know the difference.
Except
you just would lose the ability to buy games in store.
Yeah.
And have any sort of ownership of that.
Yeah. Why would you want to trade in a game? Do you hate the industry? Bob?
I guess.
Why do you want to be able to sell a thing you bought? Do you hate America?
Bob, gamer, hater video games.
Maybe I buy Call of Duty every year and it's always bad and I always want to get rid of it within a week.
Bob, is that where my vodka keeps going every November? Bob's like, why do I do this? Chugs vodka.
Maybe don't make a game that's loaded with so much bullshit that I never want to play it ever again, even if I liked it. Like,
right, The Last of Us was really fucking bad about that, and Uncharted 4 is only moderately
game has
better.
2 hours of unskippable climbing or walking while someone talks at me, I'm never going to replay that.
Mm-hmm. Heck, I talked to people who really like the new Assassin's Creed game, and they're like, it's too much. Mm-hmm. Like they enjoyed it thoroughly, but it's like I don't even want to do the DLC. It just took me like 100 hours. I'm bored of it.
Yeah, it is too much.
But anyway, Senran Kagura.
About Senran Kagura.
This is actually a remake of the first game for the 3DS. So if you didn't play back on there, this lets you play the story of the beginning of the series.
But it doesn't have 3D.
But it does have the new gameplay mechanics of it plays like Burst or Estival Versus, which is the last real one they did.
But does it?
It plays like all the ones the Vita on, which is like a Muso clone.
Yeah.
Does it support VR?
I don't think it supports VR.
Oh my god.
No.
They took away 3D and don't support VR?
Yeah, but now the models aren't
potatoes.
Yeah, the game runs at like 60 instead of like
20.
30.
Yeah.
If you want VR, you have to go buy the Splatoon ripoff. That one has VR support.
Oh my god! Of course. Also, that Splatoon ripoff is hilarious. That they made that. It's really fun.
It's weird. Yeah, I don't know why they did it, but hey, there it is.
It exists for someone, I assume.
Right? I guess.
Whatever. So how is it? It runs well?
It runs okay. It's okay. It's an alright game. I only played a little bit of it because I started playing. I was like, oh man, I remember all of this. This is identical.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the story is exactly the same.
Wasn't there supposed to be something new in it? They cut it out?
I don't know. If anything, that was probably like some weird, dumb mode in the dressing room. That's how that usually goes.
There was a dressing room mode the previous ones on Vita and everything had that Sony made them take off because they're gonna push the PS5 real big in China and they need to get ready to bootlick now.
It's so fucking sad. Imagine you were Japanese and heading into that. Oh boy.
What?
But yeah.
So I'm sure you had enough time to count the pixels. Is it a true 4K image?
I have no idea. I'm sorry, Dan.
Digital Foundry, where are you?
Yeah, I don't think they covered it.
Yeah,
it came
when
out
are
2
they
months
covering
ago.
this game?
There is an added thing. There's an added storyline with the Poochie of Senran Kagura because she didn't show up until the Vita games, but they added a story with her back into this game because she's popular and the Poochie. I think the character's name is Yumi.
Oh yeah, I think that's actually DLC. So I didn't. You get the DLC free when you buy it, but I didn't put it in the code for it. I didn't even think about that. So I don't know what that is. That's kind of lame though. If they just added one of the that's the main character from I think Gessen was added in the Vita one, and it's kind of lame to just be playing as her. She was kind of my least favorite part of that whole team.
She's the Poochie.
See, the first time you said Poochie, I thought Yoshi's Island, because we're talking video games.
Right.
But then it was immediately, all right, yeah.
Oh, video games. Then she's the Marie of Senran Kagura.
Bob,
I don't
me
get that either.
Marie from what?
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
She's the Atlas remake girl of Senran Kagura.
Oh, okay.
Professional.
Oh, okay. So like those random.
They added an additional character when they remade the game.
When they released Persona 4 on Vita, they added in a new character who is just like, who is terrible. I love her because she's so abysmally awful in every way. But that started the trend of them just adding a horrible new female character in every remake. Like there's one in the Radiant Historia remake, and there's one in the Strange Journey remake, and they revealed her in the Persona 5 Royal thing already. So it's just one in every game.
Hey, she might not be terrible. We don't know. It's a mystery right now. We won't know.
They're currently batting 0.
I know. They always have time.
The
to turn
Strange
around.
Journey one was fine.
I never played that one, so I wouldn't know.
Like I played through that game, and I didn't find that character to be a problem at all. And I played Devil Survivor 2. That one also had a remake girl. However, this time they got smart and tied it to a completely different sequel scenario. She was mid.
But hey, Bob,
Yeah, what's up?
what else did you play?
That was mainly it. I'm now in the final boss Sekiro, so I'm trying to grind that out, finish it,
Weird.
finish the fight.
Put the past behind you.
Dan's working his way through it. He's getting close.
That final boss is pretty good. It
cool.
took me like 3 hours to beat him, but it was pretty good.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it seems really tough.
KZ, what have you been playing?
All you got to do, Bob, is when you get to his third phase, just do the lightning counter.
Yeah, no, once I got to this survey place twice now. The first time I almost beat him because of that, and I was like, okay, this isn't going to be too bad as long as I can get to that again.
Hey, KZ.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Dan? Video games?
Doing all right. What have you been playing over the last week?
All right, Phil said he was going to play the Surge, so I also downloaded the Surge with the intent to break up the mechanics talk that would potentially happen. But I only played it for 10 minutes.
That was also my experience.
I only played it for 10 minutes because I signed up to edit a podcast, and then I kind of just burned out for the past 2 days. So no, that aside from just a stream of KH3 again because I couldn't think of what else to stream. Yeah, nothing. So pass.
Mr. Phil?
So I downloaded the Surge. I played it for 10 minutes, and then I went, "Oh wait, this is a Souls game." I'm super saturated on those right now, and I immediately closed it and uninstalled it.
One thing that I think is hilarious that the Surge does is it adds a layer of oh fuck to that game's death mechanic, where it's just souls. Only in this, it's like a currency that you use for like cybernetics and stuff. But when you die and you have to go pick them up, they tell you where they are. They even give you a waypoint, but it's on a timer. Ugh. You got to get it before time runs out.
Yeah, I played like an hour of the Surge back when it first came out, and I was like, this is really bad. And
I played through it, and I went, this is pretty good. But once you beat the first boss and get into the main area, everything looks the same, and my brain couldn't handle it.
Yeah, no, it's like a really ugly game. And then that weird targeting mechanic for different limbs is just kind of lousy
it's
feeling.
like combining VATS with Souls combat.
And then
like break pieces off, and you're supposed to target like the unprotected limbs.
It felt like it was such a wasted opportunity of like how to do a sci-fi Souls game, because you could do so much with, oh well, your body dies but your consciousness remains, and you have a cyber, or like a basically a Ghost in the Shell kind of concept. Instead, it's just like, no, you're just a dude in a big suit, and you die, and then you get back up for no reason. And it was like, this is lame.
Well, maybe they're able to go a little bit further once the Surge 2 comes out, which apparently is coming out in a few months. It's coming out in the summer, apparently.
Yeah, like all their games, it's not going to be good, unfortunately. Because they also did Lords of the
They keep
Fallen.
getting better each time, because the Lords of the Fallen was a nightmare, and this was like, I can play this.
This was
Now,
passable.
this next one though,
They'll probably have plateaued and be like, oh, that one was good enough.
maybe, I will get more than 30% through, and we keep scaling up. There's always hope.
So other than 10 minutes of the Surge, I just sat down and played all the way through Onimusha in one sitting, the PC port that they just did. It's also on, it's on PS4 and Xbox One. I don't know if it's on Switch. That game holds up. It's only like 4 hours long if you know where everything is, so you can beat it real quick. That game holds up really well.
Yeah, I really want to play it again. I keep looking at it. I'm like, I should buy that, and I just don't. Did you mess with the other options like the analog support and stuff for different kinds of movement?
I had beaten it relatively recently, like a year or two ago on the PS2. So I was like, I'll try the analog thing and see how badly that breaks the game. And it does a little bit. I don't think it's as drastic as like say having analog control in like remake.
Right.
Where you can just skate through the zombies and never get touched. It makes certain bosses a lot easier just because you can easily run around behind them and they have no answer. It makes the segments where you have to play as the sidekick ninja girl, who later dies off screen, but in this game does not. It makes the sections where you have to play as her way more tolerable because there's no reason to fight anything in those sections because you can't get experience.
Did they kill her like between? So you can just 1 and 2, or sorry, 1 and 3.
They killed her between 2 and 3 because there's a big cutscene. The intro cinematic for Onimusha 3 is Samanosuke breaking into like a big demon tank.
Yeah, that thing.
And fighting a big guy. He's fighting him because that guy killed her.
Oh, that's messed up. I beat those games. I never knew.
She might turn out to be alive in like 4, but I don't think so. I think she's just dead.
We need 5 then. Need to go bring her back. I keep talking about.
Yeah, I was about to say, please, Capcom, Onimusha 5 on the RE engine, please.
Yeah, I keep thinking about how they could get that same actor back and actually get the physical pictures of him and turn him into a real character in game, and how cool that would be. And also, I keep thinking about us watching The Returner. The star, or the star of that movie is the guy who plays Samanosuke, and I think it would be perfect for cursed content.
Oh, fuck you. Anytime he's not feeling something, I'm like,
I know that. That's why I do it.
Yeah, I'm like, sit down, bitch. Watch this bad thing.
I'm interested in seeing any film with Samanosuke in it.
It's also very strange that there's like a hugely major antagonist in Onimusha who just like bye, and then he walks out and you don't do anything until you don't see him again until 3.
Jesus.
Which is the evil demon scientist Guildenstern.
Oh yeah, that guy who looks like he's straight from Berserk.
Yeah, he looks exactly like he's from fucking Berserk. I
That's
also
do a
went
collection.
Well, it's because they have to go back and re-up all the actor licenses, and every single character in 2 is a actor.
Yeah, and
like
the worst part is like
5-6 characters.
Is the like he's some famous guy who's long dead.
Yeah, who's dead, so they'd have to contact his estate. It's a bare bones port, but they did something to the backgrounds because they look better than they should if they were just pre-rendered and then kicked up. So I don't know if they were faked and were never actually pre-rendered backgrounds, just made to look pre-rendered, like with really nice textures or what, but it looks all right. I did the Dark Realm for the first time and got the broken sword that they only give you right before the final boss, but at that point, what's the point almost?
It makes you feel real cool.
You can still just instantly obliterate the final boss with you just get up in his face and mash the infinite super attack it gives you.
That's the one that has like purple energy, right?
It is infinite energy.
Okay.
Other than that, I bought Yoshi's Crafted World.
Oh.
And I put some time into that. That's a fun game. I kind of hope that 4K Switch rumor is real because I'd like to play that in 4K.
Yeah, or even 1080p. Yeah, that thing. What is it? I think docked at 720.
Oh man, it's like an Xbox One.
It's a very cheesecake game, but it still makes.
It's like an Xbox One. Fuck.
Don't pretend it's not true.
I know it's accurate. That's why it knocked the wind out of me.
Like you deflated the balloon over there.
Yeah, no, it's fucking ow. My diaphragm hurts.
Oh.
But yeah, no, that's fucking. Yeah, I would love.
Where she could be Jim Ratgazer, just dying at every moment.
That Lords of Shadow stream was something. Speaking of which, Phil, have you played anything else?
I was going on about Yoshi's Crafted World. I was going to say,
No, you're done.
It's a very cheesecake game, but it still makes me angry
Wait,
because
how?
I will search everywhere and then pick up a flower and see that I missed 2 somewhere in the stage, and I'll just scream, "Where?"
yeah, that starts being a thing. Just
Or I'll
do you
get to the end of
mean?
the level and it'll be like, "You have 9 red coins," and I'm like, "Where were they?"
that hiding in the background and foreground shit is gonna get you.
Not only that, but some of the red coins are like, "You have to hit this question mark cloud that's invisible."
Yes,
What a good
the
video
classic
game.
Yoshi's Island approach.
That approach being fuck you.
I don't think you ever had to find an invisible cloud to get any of the major collectibles in Yoshi's Island. I also don't like that instead of making the red coins a different color, like they were in the original Yoshi's Island, but not in the Game Boy Advance version where they're all the same color and it's fucking impossible.
Yeah.
And they make the Yoshi make noises, and it makes me upset.
But
Oh God.
they just rotate the other direction, so it's real hard to see if like a group by themselves are red coins. If there's a big cloud and there's like 2 in there, you can tell, but my brain isn't big enough to go, "Oh, they're rotating the opposite direction," if they're just on their own.
My brain isn't big enough to look.
Yeah. Looking's hard. No, I get it. Yeah, I'd probably forget constantly which way they were spinning.
I didn't actually notice that was the quirk for those coins at all, to be fair.
But yeah, it's pretty good. I'm like 70% through.
I played a good bit of that when it first came out. That's why I forgot to mention it. Not much to say besides it's really good. I really enjoyed what I played. I reached this game's version of Bert the Bashful, and I thought it was hilarious. This game's
You
neat.
stomp on his dick. They give him a dick and then you trample it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Because because everything's made out of like crafting materials. So he's a beach ball and
Yeah.
he like inflates in
Yeah.
front of you.
Bert the
And
ball.
like the valve pops out where his dick would be and then gets covered by a bandage. And the boss fight is just knocking him over so you can ground pound the bandage. So you're just trampling on his dick.
Oh my God.
I'm sure it's just his belly button.
Really,
It's fine. It's like sunshine.
it all makes sense given the fact that the developer is called Good Feel.
Yep.
They nailed it.
But that's all I played. I didn't play any more Caligula Effect or anything this week.
Ah, jeez.
I just didn't feel it. Oh, I played some. I got more into Under Night in Birth.
Oh,
That's
cool.
mostly going through the 18-hour tutorial to learn how to play that game.
Oh, that's good, because when we do the GigaBoots convention, GigaCon, we're going to have an Under Night tournament for sure.
Will it be in a
Okay,
bathroom?
Yes.
No, that's Melty Blood.
Ah.
This is going to be on the Evo main stage.
Watch, next year,
currently
Melted
has
Blood
more-
get to the Evo main stage. Go straight from the back to
Yeah,
that.
it's like 4th in entrance or something.
Which is insane.
Anime's rising up in ways we couldn't have expected.
I feel like I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm not even going to say anything. You know what? Not going to say anything.
Hey, Dan.
Well, now you gotta.
Nope.
Did you happen to play a video game, Dan? Video games?
Yeah, I played Castlevania Lords of Shadow on the PS3 this last Sunday. And
There is a full VOD of the entire experience you had
Yep.
on youtube.com/GigaBoots.
Oh, 15 hours, and it's in 3 parts.
Yeah.
The third part is almost all the DLC. It's a little bit short.
I'll have a
How long were we
supercut
on that
out
final-
by the time this podcast is out.
You're going to ask how long the Forgotten One whipped my ass?
Yeah. was
An
that-
hour.
Okay. I felt like 2, so at least it was only 1.
I
yeah, it did.
almost had a stroke at the final cutscene in that DLC.
Yeah.
Where the Forgotten One's power is slowly coming towards him. And so Gabriel leaps into the way.
And that's how he gains.
Because it's moving so slowly, he can do that. And
that's how
like a light switch.
Also, the fact you can kick the shit out of the Forgotten One and he immediately goes, "Fool, you cannot defeat me."
Yep.
After you just beat his ass.
He turned into Goldar there.
Yeah.
Foolish Rangers! You know who could beat me? Your mom! You're a meshy.
Yeah, no, it's infuriating. The storytelling in that game is truly
What is
awful.
a man? A miserable pile of secrets.
I like this more than Lords of Shadow 2 already.
Don't worry, I'm coming.
Zobek,
I need you to hold this.
I'm coming.
But yeah, I'm glad that a lot of people got to see how frustrating Lords of Shadow 1 was, because one of the things with our channel is revisiting old content, and a lot of people misremember things or had lower standards. And so getting to see Castlevania Lords of Shadow and its insane bloodthirst for making you do shit that just takes forever for the sake of being a longer game is infuriating. And I'm really glad that people got to experience that with me, Bob, Jim Ratgazer, and KZ Excellent. Jim Ratgazer, who is dead from laughing too much. He will be
I
missed.
have to take breaks editing it because I'm just losing it. Because I have to hear the laugh sequence like 5 or 6 times the way I'm cutting it up and slotting it in and making sure it flows properly.
Yeah, I used to, a long time ago, I used to work an overnight job with Jim Ratgazer, and him losing his shit sporadically throughout the night was both delightful and exhausting. Deeply exhausting. But yeah, no, that game's just full of dumb moments. There's a part where you need to get over a gap in a bridge, and since it's New Game Plus, I go to do a double jump over it, and I hit a solid brick wall of invisible, like, solid air. So I just hit this visible wall and drop straight down and eat shit. Then the next moment, it's like, okay, we need to find the thing in this room. And I do a double jump towards the camera and get stuck on some geometry in the corner of the screen. That game's
Do you get health upgrades in that game?
Very small ones, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because you said you had an in-game health bar, and I was like,
we didn't get one, no. But it's green.
So, like, why would you make the max health bar so small so you just didn't have any sense of accomplishment?
Because they have no idea from a writing level or a mechanics level how to give you that feeling. As bad as this game is, Mirror of Fate's going to be 10 times worse because you only have about 4 or 6 combos in Mirror of Fate, and you're mashing the same 6 combos out for 7.5 hours.
At least it's half the length.
You play Lords of Shadow 2 with the incredible 6-hour a la carte DLC, which you're very certainly going to be playing.
It's 6 hours? Or is that just what that one website says?
You said it was 6 hours, Bob.
I didn't say anything about how long it was. I had no
I think
idea.
it was
I've
Bob
never played
talking about the DLC and Dan
Bob
going,
talked
no, it's
about
6
it and
hours,
then
you
Dan-
fool.
I looked
Yeah, that's what it was.
I looked it up, and the completion time sits somewhere around 4, like 3.5. I've never beaten it. I own it.
It'll be a new experience.
Yeah, that's what Dan needs, a new experience with the Lords of Shadow trilogy. Anyway, we're doing a stream goal I guess past tense, because this comes out on Monday now. This Friday, which is the day after we record these, we're gonna have a stream goal.
You will have already survived that stream potentially.
Or maybe we won't even hit the goal. We won't even do it.
Stan already commented on part 3. See you for the other 2 games. I was like, are you fucking serious?
During that stream, he's like, it's happening. We'll hit it.
Oh my god.
Someone's going to at him in your Discord as soon as you start your show.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Dan. I'll promote your stream and explicitly say the conditions of you playing that game you hate.
Thanks.
I got it right here. It's ready to go.
I'll
Just
be
like
there.
Like I did with the watermelons.
Oh my
and
god.
The pachinko.
God, that was insane.
Poison River.
Thanks so much, Feel.
Mirror of Fate I think I may start that stream with just playing the review. Because holy shit, man. The review perfectly distills how insane it is of like, you get this ghost buddy that holds a shield above your head so you can go under this one single waterfall. As an ability, it does basically jack else.
That one didn't introduce the Medusas, did it? That was until 2.
The Gorgon Ringu girls don't come in until Lords of Shadow 2.
It's like the thing in Aria, except bad. You get the ability to fuck the rabbit, but that's cool because you're screwing over someone who controls time and not just, that's wet. Go soldier, cover my head.
Yeah, no. It's in Aria, it's a mystery because the room freezes and you need to figure, or the room resets and you need to figure out why. So you eventually get the power to freeze time. I think once you get like
the ability to run, you can get close enough to see what's happening.
Yeah.
And then you still get reset because you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. And then Dawn of Sorrow did another thing, which was not quite as interesting and clever, but it was still pretty good. And then Mirror of Fate comes in and it's like, I shitted and I peed and I farted, and that was its design document.
Succeed.
Then Time Spinner is a game entirely about time control and has nothing like that at all.
Wow.
Every time we fault talk about Time Spinner, it's just to like punch down on it.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
That is sad. I was very excited over that
Indiegogo. It should have been a good game and I
Mm.
wouldn't punch down on it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I agree. I need to give that game a chance personally, but there's a moment in Mirror of Fate. This does a really good job of explaining. You need to go to a completely different part of the castle, fight a boss. The boss gives you a ghost archer. The ghost archer's point is there is a pulley system to raise a platform in the upper left part of the castle. And it's how you like reach the end area as one of the 3 characters you play as. Technically you play as 4, but also technically you only play as 1 because they're all fucking identical. And you use the pulley system to pull up the platform. But if you don't have the ghost archer, a bat comes up, shoots fire out of its mouth, and you die in 1 hit because it burns the ropes to the pulley system.
I forgot. Oh no.
That's that whole game. You get abilities that let you carry on and explore other parts of the castle, but they don't genuinely play into how you traverse or engage in combat.
I like how you...
they might as well be keys.
Yeah, a lot of them, yeah.
You play as Alucard, but they were like, well, we gave him a sword on the box art, but we don't want to actually make a sword, so he just had the same whip as everybody else.
Yeah. As I said, 4 identical characters. Also, this game, it features a thing. See, there are doors. Doors you can only open if you're a wolf. I like to call them wolf doors. Because they have a giant picture of a wolf head on it, which is dumb as hell. And then if you're a wolf, you could rip the wolf head off and then it will open. It is the most insane,
This
dumb...
has a similar energy to wrapping the whip around the pillar and pulling it a couple times to make it shatter.
Yeah.
You would be shocked
That makes more sense. That makes more sense because I finally fucking realized when you got the upgrade that actually was supposed to let you do that you're sawing the pillar in half?
That's kind of what it's supposed to be, but it's also the whip's retracting itself around the object.
Yeah, it's because it's covered in spikes, so retracting the whip after wrapping it around makes the spikes cut through the pillar.
Yes, but the problem is that when you stop pulling back on the stick, your whip magically goes back out towards the object and rewraps itself around it. It physically makes no sense. It's like pulling the string out from
Lords
a yo-yo.
of Shadow is a bad game.
Yeah,
You think it makes sense, but it doesn't.
It almost makes sense. It would make sense if it weren't enormously stupid.
Yeah, it's like they could have just... How do you drop it once? Pull it back. It'd be really fast and just immediately tear it up.
Well, no,
But
it's supposed to waste time
it's
like
gotta waste
everything
time.
else. And that's
What
how...
if it's an extended pulling thing and not like pull back, pull back?
Yeah.
What if it was just like one pull for a few seconds? And
I mean, yeah, you could even have a unique animation that plays out across the whole thing as he like foists the whip over his shoulder and leans into pulling it and stuff, you know? as it pulls once. But no, that would cost more money.
Well, they played God of War and realized that all the stupid shit you had to do in the old God of Wars, like mash R1 and R2 to open a door, that must have been great game design because they kept doing it.
Well, the funny thing there is it's one button versus pushing a stick back and forth repeatedly. And also, Kratos does that, and it feels strong because Kratos is lifting up an entire gate at the front of a castle by himself.
Yep.
Gabriel's pulling his whip around a rock.
Gabriel doesn't do that.
It should have been. You know what would make that whole gameplay mechanic work in a way that's beautiful?
Huh.
It should have made sawing down a tree sounds. It should be like it was fucking two lumberjacks pulling a saw through a tree.
Yeah, Paul Bunyan Belmont.
Yeah.
That's the sound you made. That's the sound I made when I fucking almost fell asleep watching it.
That's so bad.
No,
It was rough.
I don't
It was rough for
understand. I
him.
don't understand how that game is as long as it is.
Gabriel should have got noob say bot powers. Then
It's
he gets the ability
15
to shadow
hours?
him. Yeah, it's 15 hours, which is insane.
I feel like there's 15 hours and they had like half of one idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess now's a good time to bring up that I'm blocked by the director of Lords of Shadow on Twitter and also the Studio
You
Mercury
deserve it.
Steve. I think it's hilarious. How thin-skinned can you be that you're like, these guys didn't like our free-to-play game?
He called me a dog at a control panel.
Yeah, somebody asked like if Enrique Alvarez was what was it? He's like, is this the time for the real ending? And then he posted a picture of the Silent Hill dog ending from like 3. And I was, no, it's from 2. And I was like, man, I hope the director of these games is a dog pulling levers and smashing buttons.
And they smashed the block button.
So it was either that or the fact we did not like, and people keep blaming me for this, Bob.
yes.
But it was the fact that we as a channel, Bob, didn't like their free-to-play game, Raiders of the Broken Planet, which coincidentally changed its name on Steam so that way people couldn't find out it was a bad game.
What is it? Space Lords.
Space Lords.
It's in the same category as
Marvel,
that game.
whatever. Because Marvel did it.
That and the rhythm game RPG that had the plot of pretentious hipsters have to procreate to save us from idiocracy, which might be the most smugly, terribly pretentious plot ever. But it changed its name to dodge its horrible reputation also.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a very special club those three inhabit. Very exclusive.
I think its original was called Sequence?
Yes.
Or something like that.
That's it. Yeah.
And then its new one is, I don't even fucking remember.
I forgot the name of the new one. What's up, Bob?
You can't blame me for showing what the game was, okay?
I'm not blaming you. I'm just pointing out that people who haven't watched the fucking video assume it's me. I didn't even fucking
Before
play the
the
game.
Echo. That's what it's
fucking-
called now, Before the Echo.
I didn't even fucking play Raiders of the Broken Planet. Also, man, tell me there's anything more condemning than our game's not bad. We're just gonna comment bomb your video and downvote it a shitload, and then ultimately change the name of our fucking game. That's sad.
Oh no, they made another game after the one I just mentioned.
Who?
And I don't know anything about it, but I'm just reading the Steam blurb where it says starring Will Wheaton and Ashley Birch, and my brain just shut off.
Oh,
It's heavy stuff there.
Ashley Birch.
You gonna be all right?
Ashley Birch, I have nothing against you. I doubt you're listening, but I have nothing against you. But
Yeah, I have nothing against you, Ashley Birch. I just think that the guys who made the game where pretentious hipsters have to fuck to save the world from poor people producing too much, because that's what they actually meant, even if they didn't say it. Like, for our next game, it's gonna star Will Wheaton. I'm like, okay, that clears. That tracks.
yeah. Yeah, no, fucking, Mirror of Fate is a shorter game. Mirror of Fate is somehow an even more brain dead game. Because at least in Lords of Shadow, you get a run, in Lords of Shadow, you get a double jump. I don't even know if you get that in Mirror of Fate.
Man, I don't. I feel a little bad that I won't be there for you for it.
Yeah,
Unless you guys go real late.
Yeah, unless we just literally don't start the stream because fuck Bob.
Starting at 5 p.m. just to get me.
You know, Bob. You know how it is. Just sometimes
I
streams
like
start
how
at 5
it's
p.m.
Bob's like, hey, Dan, what's going on? Video games. And he's like, oh, no.
Why is it so dark in here? Video games. Oh, no.
I do think it's pretty funny that Bob is so soft-spoken that even when he says much harsher things than Dan, people are like, that fucking Dan video games hates everything. Like,
Yeah.
Bob said that the developers of this game should be put in the guillotine. It's like, Dan.
Dan said it. Dan's got a mean voice. Makes me mad. He's such a negative guy.
Yep.
Giving all these games a chance in his 11-minute videos. Yeah, so Lords of Shadow 2 is the only one that genuinely in every which way exceeds the horror of the first one. Because Mirror of Fate, imagine you just had to do the most brain dead fucking thing for 7.5 hours, and in a way that's relieving over what I had to do in Lords of Shadow 1. Right. But in a way it's also worse.
I feel like once you get the final combo in that game, you just use it. You don't use anything else. You're just hitting that same combo over and over again.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
It's just
Mirror
whatever
Fate?
the last, the Mirror of Fate. Whatever the last combo you get in that game. You just keep doing it.
It has a lot of buildup, so a tiny enemy will fly up and hit you, and it'll stop it. Because of course.
That reminds me of the 2014 Strider,
Yeah.
where you have different elemental weapons, but they don't have different functions. It's just a straight line of one being better than the other.
That's sad.
Yeah. But aside from that, I didn't play anything. I did play the game of, at the last second, this year's LG OLED apparently cut all of the features that made it interesting. That's what it seems anyways. A decent review of the damn thing hasn't come out. So it looks like the variable refresh rate doesn't work on Xbox One. So it's like, oh, okay, that's out the window. The input lag's identical to the past 2 years. Oh, well, that's out the window. Also, the black frame insertion is identical to the prior year. And I'm like, okay, maybe this TV isn't happening. We'll have to see for our review to come out.
Oh, what a shame, Daniel.
What a shame, Daniel.
What a shame.
It's okay, KZ. I know fewer OLEDs in the world make you sad, but it'll be fine.
Yep.
But yeah, that does it for me. Because I haven't had time to do anything else. I guess it's time for us to talk about the news.
Yeah, sure. Let's move right on to the news. It'll be fine. Nothing weird's going to happen about
Dan,
Let me pull up that.
you recall Space Lords.
Yeah. What about it?
Do you know what's better than Space Lords?
What's better than Space Lords?
Pod Lords.
What? Pod Lords!
Oh, shit!
Holy fuck! The Pod Lords for this episode of the Big Think Dimension are Danny Richardson, he's back, baby, and he told his bank to fuck off. Not Gak, Ely Broyles, and Lady Popcorn. Thank you very much, Pod Lords.
Thank you, Pod Lords.
Bob,
Space
did you know
Sheriff.
Patreon.com is an international scam?
I was aware.
I'm surprised our bank hasn't done that. It constantly does crazy bullshit.
Makes sense if you think about it.
Right now, PayPal's afraid of giving them $1, so you know.
What? PayPal is afraid of giving Patreon $1?
Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. I haven't fixed it yet.
That's hilarious. Oh, is it the trigger thing?
This
Yeah,
is a
it's trigger.
conspiracy.
Studio trigger. They're like, we see the studio, they make triggers, this must be an arms dealer. Thank you very much, Pod Lords. I already covered my news, which was TV
right.
news.
So I wanted to open up news since we got something in the past like half hour
Ooh.
that wasn't on the docket. So formerly of Square Enix, Hajime Tabata, director of Final Fantasy 15, announced his game now.
What?
He's a part of JP Games, his own company now, and they announced the Paralympic sports RPG, the Pegasus Dream Tour.
What?
What's going on?
Which I am posting this in our general Discord thing.
Yeah, I was reading it while
the
was
first official
having
video
PTSD.
game of the International Paralympic Committee. An overview of the game was posted. The Pegasus Dream Tour, which marks the first title to be released by JP Games, is a completely new sports RPG where players participate in virtual Paralympic games that take place in a fantasy metropolis known as Pegasus City. Here, players awaken their special abilities or extra power, with a big X, in an alternate Paralympics world dynamically rendered in ways only video games can achieve. The makers are planning for the Pegasus Dream Tour to be accessible on various platforms, including smartphones. Coming out in time for the 2020 Tokyo Paralympic Games.
You know, I'm just sad that the extra powers weren't called excellent powers starting with an X, because KZ
I'd
would
lose
have
my
said.
fucking mind.
So the art looks really cool.
Yeah.
The one of the lines about it has filled me with less faith than anything I've ever heard, which is where is the line that I'm looking at here? Taking RPGs to the next level and creating an abundant future with games.
That doesn't fill me with confidence or like negativity. It fills me with I don't care. It's probably nothing. It's like fluff. In general, I think the designs look neat, and it's cool to see them doing something that I think is nice, like a Paralympic style game that makes, that looks cool.
Yeah, I really don't know what to expect. Like, I assume
it's
it's
filling it's filling a thing you wouldn't really expect, and feel like more games like that should exist.
Yeah, it's neat that it's a Paralympics game.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little worried with how quickly it has to be made, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
It's gonna be.
Yeah,
on
I'm not
smartphone.
expecting anything huge at all from a studio this new, especially on this type of timetable. But I enjoyed, for the most part, Tabata's games, with many reservations on every single one, except for like Crisis Core. But we'll see.
Well, we're going to go ahead and jump from that news to the first bullet of news under Bob, because we need to announce the new hellhole in which we live.
Okay, Dan, do you want to take it? I mean, you seem very excited about this.
No, Bob, how about you read it?
The Smash Bros. Stage Builder was revealed in a new Switch ad. Well, maybe accidentally.
Not intentionally, by the way. Nintendo put the ad up too soon and took it down. Has since taken it down, but it had like a shot of the Smash Ultimate menu, and Stage Builder was in there.
Yeah, it was slightly blurred, but people could easily make it out. And,
Yeah, I mean,
like the game.
and it wasn't blurred in post. It was
figured it
blurred
out.
by like depth of field.
Right.
Yeah, but people suspected this.
Yeah,
Like when they announced the big patch, because it was in the menu that they showed it blanked out, but people like cranked the contrast up to see the outline. Like, oh, that's the Stage Builder.
yeah.
So this
People
is
even looking
confirmation
at
that they
the
were right.
blurred image they did in the last Nintendo Direct of that screen. People went, that button up there is in the same place the Stage Builder's always been, so it's probably that.
Hopefully Home Run Bat shows up too. Like that to be back.
Home run
I think they
contest.
found
Contest.
home run contest in the data, so that's probably also part of it.
Yeah, if it doesn't show up now, I suspect maybe when they're like, fuck it, it's 4.0 now, home run contest and break the targets are back.
Maybe they'll be like, there's one new minor thing with each DLC character.
That'd be good.
I just want alternate narrator packs. I want the voices from Melee where it sounds like a guy trapped in a deep well with a $20 microphone.
You get the one from Brawl that was the same dude from Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Holy shit! What?
They got the Bill Nye dude to announce for Smash.
That's
I remember
intense.
that being a thing.
That's
Weird.
crazy. I never knew that. Huh. Okay. Hey, Bob, move on to the next bit of news.
Sure. This is going to have happened by the time this news is out, but it's still internet to cover.
Oh, but Dan, you're not announcing your new stream We Smash on your Smash Brothers levels?
I need to find out how stage creation and stage sharing works before I announce anything official, because if I announce that series and then it's like, oh, it only saves to your system, but if you do this really fucked up thing that, is insanely annoying and could cause problems, you can do it, people would still want us to do it.
Right.
That's what I've effectively described here was powered up. Powered up levels were not meant to be manually shared. ever.
Looking forward to the next one.
I think we have enough levels for one more. Maybe we'll get to it before the heat death of the universe. We'll see.
That's good.
It's a race.
Just like the next Nintendo Direct.
Ugh.
But yeah, the reason Dan's so upset about Stage Builder is I've made some awful stages, and Dan is very upset with them.
Hey, we can.
They are
I hope
war
I hope the
crimes.
online and everything works fine with, so we can bring back that Smash Bros. Basketball stage type.
Bob made a level.
Jim Ratgazer, he really likes it.
Yeah, he does, because it made him laugh because it's so fucking stupid. Bob made a
He'll laugh
Bob
at
made a
anything.
level.
You can just yell peanut butter.
Bob made a level. It was named Barrels. There's a tiny, incredibly curvy and hole-filled thing to stand on in the middle, and then the entire circumference of the arena, except for the top middle, so you could spawn, was barrels aiming to the edge of the screen. So if you get knocked off slightly, you get knocked into a barrel and die. Except for the parts.
I'm so excited for future Smash Supercuts.
I'm very excited for this. That's even better than mine, where I would just make a level explicitly to scum with Palutena's up smash.
Oh my god. You're gonna make a fucking Dark Pit level.
But anyway,
Well, now I am. Bob's barrel idea is what that level's going to be.
Electroshock, and it slams you into a barrel pointing down.
oh, not even I had him pointing down. Jesus.
What were you gonna say, Bob?
So Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is going to be announced on a Saturday. We're gonna get to see that video game.
Whoa.
My hopes and dreams all ride with this Star Wars video game. This entire gen, I want a single player Star Wars game. I want it really fucking bad. God damn it, Respawn,
If
don't
it's
fuck me.
If it's just CG, we're doomed.
I told Bob, right around episode 9 coming out, we need to do Star Wars month on GigaBoots.
Oh no.
The bad thing is, I'm a Star Wars. I used to be a Star Wars fan, so
Bob
I
even had
wanna,
extended universe novels.
I kind of interested in doing that, but oh god, I've been so burned.
I'm a fan of Star Wars. I'm excited for this because Respawn makes good video games.
When people let them, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they still made a good video game with Titanfall 2. It was just sent to die.
You know what? If the rumor and Avalon is working on this, it'll be good. Unless it just gets rushed out a year before it's done.
We'll see. I will have hope for this. And if they burn me again, I give up. I give up.
Yeah, he needs to loot this license already, darn it.
They've made 2 Battlefronts that are okay on a level, and then everything around it is just this awful nightmare that makes me never want to touch it. But this has hope. I have hope, man.
All right, I guess we should move on to the next thing of news.
I'm going to throw up.
Sure. Yeah.
The Australian rating board rated River City Girls, which is developed by Wayforward. It's a game that's not announced yet.
Please let this be a Sukaban River City game.
Yeah, it sounds a lot.
Please let us be on that timeline. For the love of God, let that be what this is.
I feel like WayForward would make a really good River City game.
It would certainly be better than Tokyo Rumble.
Is that the last one that was released that was using the
That was the
literal NES
3DS
graphics?
one. Yeah, it used like the old NES graphics, but they added like 4 times the frames of animation.
Okay.
So it looked funny. River City Underground, though, I liked a lot. Especially now that they patched out the Nitro level.
That tells
There was a part of that game that was literally the Nitro glycerin from Castlevania 64.
Oh
Where it's
man.
like carry this jug of milk across the map. You can't jump very far. It easily breaks, and you have to do significant platforming
Splish
to
splash.
get it where it's supposed to go. I think they just entirely removed it in a patch.
Ugh.
I don't know if they patched it or if they just heavily changed it,
Or just removed it.
but I think they fixed it.
Hey, KZ, what news do you have for us this week other than that breaking news?
All right, so people have been waiting to see what's going to be happening with Kingdom Hearts 3's critical mode. It was left out at launch, and they said that they were going to be putting a lot of work into it. They've been doing a lot of vague interviews ever since GDC, and the co-director did an interview where he went a little deeper into it. Was talking about that they aren't doing any big adjustments on HP and that type of stuff for enemies. They're focusing more on giving you a lot of new abilities that promote more of an offensive play style, rewarding you for blocking and dodging things at the right time. And they also had to do a lot of work with the game's AI for the enemies, because as it stands, they said that it would lead to a lot more deaths that you would end up getting really annoyed at, like maybe getting sniped by something, or some moves are a little bit awkward on a higher difficulty. So they're doing a lot of work on that, and I'm very pleased with the way they described that, because all the other times they've tried to do difficulties like this in Kingdom Hearts, they've been bad. So seeing them put all this effort in has me really excited for it. Still no date though, so I imagine by E3, I guess, this update will be out, which is going to be free.
Yeah, that's really encouraging. Like that.
Yeah, I'm way excited. It's get abilities that, like, technical abilities is a big thing.
He keeps focusing on, there's a lot of action game technical stuff involved with like new abilities, and Kingdom Hearts 2 does the same thing, where you start that game on critical mode, they give you 50 AP, and they give you like 15 or 16 abilities that already make your combo streams bigger and a bunch of other things. And I imagine they might give you better movement options almost out of the gate with this mode, because they know people aren't going to do it for their first run. And I'm really excited to see how that pans out when it comes out, because I'm looking for a difficulty that feels just right without me having to limit myself in any way.
They just give you witch time.
Oh no!
Oh god, please don't! Oh my god! Kingdom Hearts
Only
does
for
not need
real
witch
action
time.
gamers. God.
It's like, hey, we're making a real action game, so we heard that Bayonetta 2 is real good.
I mean, I'd be okay with the chainsaw keyblade.
Right.
You end up dot hack when you go down that road.
So, I had one more piece of news for this week.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need Bob's help on this. Bob, can you tell me about this Ken Penders thing that happened over the past week?
No, I really didn't pay much attention on Twitter. I don't know exactly what he said. He said some really disgusting
You want to tag
stuff.
me, Bob?
Yeah, go for it, Phil.
Okay, so first I should explain who Ken Penders is.
Yeah, sadly.
Ken Penders was a writer's...
He's the Knuckles guy.
Yes, Ken Penders was a writer/artist for Archie Comics when Archie was still doing the Sega comic in the early days, like around issue like 30. He is insane. He is an insane person.
Allegedly.
His tenure writing the comic was notable for things like he pushed to have a Knuckles solo book, which eventually got made, and that became full of stuff like Knuckles leaves on page 2 and the rest is about Ken Penders' OCs. And he had all this Echinda lore. How am I supposed to pronounce it?
Echidna,
You snickered
dude.
every time I've said it either way.
And
I say Echidna and you also
Echidna.
fucking snickers. Echidna, fine, whatever.
I'm sorry.
But he had all this Echidna lore. He eventually got fired, then claimed that he didn't sign any of the standard contracts that you sign when working for a company. And since Archie had an office fire in like the previous decade, they couldn't produce them. So they eventually just had to write out every single character he had anything to do with.
Or give them brain damage.
No, that was Charmy. He didn't create Charmy.
Yeah.
So now he spends most of his time saying insane things and drawing really horrifying looking girl echidnas that are for his future work that will never exist because he's insane and nobody likes him. So this week he talked about all his plans that he didn't get to do, which was stuff like Jeffrey St. John from Days Gone. Just kidding.
Say, what? He's fighting the freakers.
Jeffrey St. John is a skunk from the Sonic comic who had like a rivalry with Sonic. And he was going to be like, oh, Jeffrey St. John totally fucked Sally. He cucked Sonic. That was something Sega never let me do. And everybody's like, what? Pardon?
The insanity of
Pardon?
this actually snapped me out of the other nearby dimension I was inhabiting for this part of the podcast to stay safe from the talk of Ken Penders. But then when
No,
you said
and then he
named
can't
Jeffrey
escape,
St.
fool.
John and he cucked Sonic, I was ripped back into this realm.
And then he just kept going, where it's stuff like, oh yeah, I mean, Sally was 15, and he was 20, but she was royalty, so they get sold to older men all the time. And everybody's just like, what? What?
This is why.
Yeah, I'm like, you were writing a children's comic book, right? What were you?
And then he's like, oh, by the way, Lara Sue, my OC, has already had sex, even though she's 16, and echidnas don't have labels like bi or gay because they only view only view sex as a means of reproduction. So of course he began getting ratioed on Twitter immensely to the point he started trending.
Yeah, he's popular now.
I hate to have clarified any part of this, but he said specifically the only time that gender was relevant to sex was to procreate, because elsewise it's just sex, and there's a lot of it, I assume. That's his tone. I fucking can't. God damn it, Ken Penders, stop existing. I don't need
Okay, I misread that because my brain was trying to protect me.
What you read is better because his version is just like, yeah, no, they're always fucking. They're like putting their globbity gloops in their sloopy doops. But sometimes they fuck to procreate, I guess.
happening.
Fucking Ken Penders is happening. He's happening on our streets every day. Our internet streets.
I
Twitter's
can't
just gonna
wait for him
ban
to
him
appear in
eventually.
our news again in the future.
I am a Sonic fan. I am strong. I am red-blooded. I do not like Ken Penders.
I'm a gamer.
So I want to segue into that, to my Sonic thing, because it's related
I
to
go
the comic.
fast. Yeah, go ahead.
So Sega just told Ian Flynn.
Yeah.
They told Ian Flynn, you can't use Infinite. And he's like, why? You just can't.
Infinite what?
Which, Infinite, the character from Sonic Force, is Infinite.
Oh. Who's Ian Flynn? I feel like our audience needs a bit more context here.
Ian Flynn is the writer of the Sonic comic. He wrote it from issue 160 to when Archie quit making it. And then he immediately got picked up by IDW to write the new one because Ian Flynn is a good writer. I don't know if it's Ian or Ian.
It's
which
Ian.
Is Dan. How do you say that?
Ian.
Ian, typically,
Okay, Ian.
yeah.
So he's a good writer. He's a huge Sonic fan. He knows all of the lore of Sonic and uses it in ways that isn't stupid.
Yeah.
So, and he regularly asks Sega things and then gets told no. Like, can I use Fang the Sniper and the other two guys? No. He's like, okay. Can I use Infinite? He's from your newest game. You should say yes. No.
They want to
And
bury
all I can say
forces.
is, which is stupid. Infinite is a million times a better character than Zavok.
Who is Zavok, Bob?
I remember this time. He's that guy who's the leader of the 6 deadly sins? 7 deadly sins?
Just there's no sins, Bob. It's just the deadly sick.
Just
deadly
thinking it's a
six.
lot more clever than it is.
Ugh.
But at least Infinite looks like a Sonic character and has something approaching a motivation. Like his motivation is just Shadow beat me up and called me a cuck, so I let Eggman do surgery on me to be big and strong so I could beat up Shadow. That at least that's something.
Yeah, the only reason I
Instead
can
of
think of is
nothing.
literally just, oh man, we really don't want people thinking about forces. But the
But
wanting people
The
to think
whole
about
comic
Lost
is
World, I don't know.
set in forces. The whole comic is based on forces.
Oh my god, I don't know then, man.
Because it's them fighting Eggman's forces across the world and leading the resistance. And multiple characters have Wispons, the thing the creative character uses in forces.
That's weird. Like, why do you think they want to? Are they like killing off that character? Like they don't want to even use it in games anymore? So
I
they don't
have
want
no
it to be known?
idea. I think it's like what Bob said, but that makes no sense. I feel like since Unleashed, Sega has been listening to the fans too much in regards to Sonic. Where it's just like here, do you want this? And then the fans punch down on Sonic because, well, not the fans, but like the internet in general punches down on Sonic because Sonic is a punching bag. And then Sega like whimpers like a beat dog. It's like, okay, we'll do this. Do you want this? And then they just get pummeled and they don't know what to do. They're like an animal that you abuse for everything, so it becomes unable to do anything.
I mean, every game has been such a mess, so I don't know. Like, Forces is so
like
bad in every way. I don't know how to.
I feel like that's an element of this, where it's just like we have to do something entirely different every single time, so the fans will love us.
So basically, it's that image of everyone flipping off the really sad dog.
Yes, kinda.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Halo 4?
I feel like if they were allowed to make another game in the same engine they made on Forces and had more than 1 year to make it, they could pull out something.
I mean, Forces had other problems, like the fact that the creator character was very clearly meant to be Boom Sonic at the beginning. And then it's like, oh,
was it?
Fuck, that. It's so obvious, to me at least, because he uses like similar gadgets.
Oh,
and
like I didn't get that vibe at all.
Yeah, that was the thing leading up to it. Everyone thought.
Before they revealed it, they were like, the next Sonic game has 3 eras: classic, modern, and Boom. And then that didn't happen, so I really think it was like, Boom fucking was a trash game. Take that out and put something else in there.
Imagine a world in which Boom got the time it needed to be developed by a studio that could develop it on a platform that could run it.
Yeah, that's an entirely different game.
Concept and design, I would have liked it.
Boom may be a better game than Lords of Shadow 2, though. I say may.
No, because
I know it is.
Because Boom has the pause jump glitch that you'd be able to use to beat the game in like an hour.
Right. That's why it's better.
Not fun.
What? No,
Sonic
that's
Boom
better.
does not have any stealth segments.
There aren't numerous one-hit kill moments all throughout Boom.
KZ, you might lose your mind in Lords of Shadow 2, where they tell you at the beginning of the game, you're not strong enough to fight these space marines.
Oh, don't,
Dracula.
Don't spoil even a moment.
Don't worry, I'm tired enough that I will forget this.
I've been holding back so much that I want to talk about with that game, but I can't. The closest I can get to is insane, proprietary, absurd proper nouns like Mind Castle and Bloodwife. That's the closest I will get to implying the fucking weird shit that happens.
What's funny is Lords of Shadow, when you talk about it, is the exact same as when you talked about the bouncer before I played it, where you say things, I don't remember it. I listened back to old stuff. You spoiled me on the punching the fucking computer monitor, and I didn't remember it.
Yeah, I totally did spoil that. Well, I mean, the bouncer's a lot to take in. It's not.
Whenever
it's not in the shape of a video game.
My brain doesn't process it.
When the video game doesn't follow any of the understood guidelines for video games, and you're just like, what are you fucking?
Whenever it's a fake
doing?
video game.
I would feel like Lords of Shadow 2 and Boom inhabit the same space. Oh man, fucking Sonic Boom. Wasn't there a Boom game on the 3DS that was solid?
I hear it was.
I never heard a single person mention it.
Like, it wasn't terrible like the other one, but that probably doesn't mean it was good.
Yeah, I played the demo. That one was made by Sanzaru, right? It was the other one that was made by Red Button.
Yes.
Okay. Looking forward to the next Sonic month.
So,
are you?
Move on.
Yes, always. I was a Sonic fan growing up.
The Last of Us 2 is probably not launching in 2019.
I disagree with your conclusion.
We don't know. You disagree with my conclusion, but I think it's going to be like
Let us explain
Last
what
of Us
happened,
1.
And then we will debate.
Okay, so the Onion just ran an article where it says that The Last of Us 2 will come out in 2019.
And then it's one of those what's the opinion of the people on the street? You know, one of those fake segments where it just cuts to stock photos of people. And to this joke, one of the employees of Naughty Dog just replied like, oh man, never thought something I made would be the subject of the Onion article. That's hilarious. That's fun. And then apparently at some other point he said, what was it? Naughty Dog will comment on this when we are ready to and have something to announce. Is that verbatim the other tweet?
And I mostly included this just because I think it's funny that had to involve any kind of discussion between the two.
I just think it's fucking funny that someone at Naughty Dog's like, holy shit, we're in the Onion. The pinnacle.
And they're like, oh, we're gonna eat it like an apple.
Oh my god.
We don't like it though.
Do we need to reference the
Anymore.
Vignons thing in every podcast?
It's
Hey,
funnier if you don't
when the
clarify
Onion
that we're
came up, I
referencing
can't help
something.
myself.
If you want, I could just start sticking his Twitter account in the descriptions of these videos.
Do it.
Do it.
Hey, honestly,
Just this one, okay? Just because he'll be like, what the fuck?
You know what? Don't link his Twitter account. Link the out of context Twitter
one.
account.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sounds great.
Much
Give me a
more
link to that in
entertainment
the
over there.
Discord. I'll do it.
Okay, but I think it's going to be 2020, partially because of this, partially just so it'll be like last gen where The Last of Us launched in March, the year the PS4 came out.
May. Or actually June.
Oh, May? Was it May?
it
yeah,
was June.
It was like during
No,
E3.
it wasn't that
E3.
late.
It was two or 3 days before E3 that year. So a bunch of people are just
Holy
at
shit,
E3.
like 4 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And like Sony's conferences. It was really
Last
funny.
of Us came out in
The-
2013 on June 14th.
Yeah, because Sony's
Jesus
conference was,
Christ.
hey, we just released that game. You guys should, play it.
Play our video game.
It
Like-
worked.
I mean,
So
it's a
I
good
think
game.
2020, because they have Days Gone, which apparently KZ's going to force me at gunpoint to play. They have that for this month, and then at some point in the next 3 or 4 months, I assume Dreams will be coming out.
Dreams will be
And then-
in early access in the next month or so.
And then in the fall/winter, they have Medieval, the
That's
remake
not.
of that.
That's not going to
Yeah.
be. That's
Did
not a
they-
full
did
game
they-
like the rest.
No, I don't think they showed anything that implies that's done.
I mean, I think they'll get it
Well, I
out,
mean,
but
I
it's
assume
gonna
it'll be
like
this
a
year.
small thing.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's definitely no.
Isn't it both games?
I think it's the first one.
Yeah, it's just a really high budgeted remake of the first game, as far as I
I
know.
wouldn't say it's anything where it's like cleared the way. We got Medieval coming in.
Yeah.
But that's like a first party release, so it's like we're not dead.
It's
And then there's the Ghost of
Tsushima.
Sweet Tsushima, which I assume is this year. I feel like it's more likely to be this year. I feel like The Last of Us 2 will be the last big PS4 first party title.
There's
We've
also
seen
that
like
Kojima
an
game.
equal amount of both of those games. It's just that we know that Ghost of Tsushima's been in development longer.
Yeah.
Have we seen a lot of both? I swear that we've only seen a tiny bit of Last of Us 2
For Last of
gameplay,
Us,
but
we
we've seen
saw for Last of Us we saw a short little teaser, and then we saw a gameplay thing at last E3. And for Ghost of Tsushima, we saw a teaser at like a Paris Games Week, and then a gameplay thing at this last E3.
See, it's really complicated though because they have to turn the gameplay they showed in The Last of Us from deterministic gameplay to actual gameplay.
They have to make it.
okay.
They have to make it
I'm
real.
wrong because something just came out where they're hiring for a critical writing job on that game, apparently, that suggests that they are not even close to done with writing it.
Which game?
What, Ghosts?
We just talked
Yeah.
about 4 games. Ghost of Tsushima, really?
That's what it says. I just Googled it trying to see if we had seen any more gameplay, more gameplay than KZ had said, and I just got a bunch of news articles. Writing job list, writing need done, but I don't see from any place
if
it's
you
actually
Google
credible.
Ghost of Tsushima, it's people are panicking over the progress of Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh my
12
God.
hours ago.
Yeah, holy shit. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm more excited for that than I am fucking The Last of Us 2.
But yeah, we've seen,
Which is
we've seen
funny
about
because-
the same amount of gameplay for both of those games.
It's funny that I'm so disinterested in The Last of Us 2 because like one of the people I'm mutuals with on Twitter is the game director now. He rose up through the ranks at Naughty Dog, and I'm just like, dude, everything tonally that's come out about that game, I can't even.
Worrisome.
Yeah, it's okay. So me and Bob referenced this in some piece of content we recorded. I'm not even sure what. Oh, now I remember, but I can't say because that would spoil what it was. But I was suggesting for a Curse Content Club that you assholes deserved because of what we had to review in that video. Only God Forgives, the next movie made by the guy who made Drive, which is disgustingly visceral, brutal for seemingly no reason other than isn't the psycho-violence deep? And that's the exact...
Oh, so it's the trailer of The Last of Us 2.
Yeah,
it
it's the
holds
exact...
that tone for like 2 hours.
And this is the first time I've actually connected these dots. Bob, you're getting it too,
they
right?
did show that like visceral violence. Yeah, we've seen more of The Last of Us 2 than we have seen of Ghost of Tsushima.
They showed the hyper-violent trailer for no reason that made me lose a lot of faith in that game.
Please, it's the clipping their wings trailer, because they say right before they bust the fucking tibia with a goddamn hammer, clip her wings.
Yeah, clip her wings. Then they show like them beating some woman's legs with hammers, and I'm like,
oh, I thought it was
I don't
her.
need to
I
see
thought it was
that.
her arm.
I think it's her arm.
Oh yeah, it's her arm.
Yeah,
I think it's both.
I was
They might go for
and then
the
they
arm.
tried to hang another woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, cycle of violence
while sticking a knife in her.
Oh god.
Yeah, it was just nothing but visceral.
Very unraw.
I don't know. Actually, I would say it's very, very raw. The weird thing
I
is,
do think it's funny how they showed that trailer and then just no, it wasn't silence. It was fucking cheering after.
I can't remember. It was Paris Games Week.
I think it was silence. I think it was just everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
The next trailer though had the deterministic gameplay, which I loved. At that little spat in gaming, where it was like, this game designer said that whole video was fake, and then Naughty Dog comes out and they're like, well, it had deterministic values, but it was still gameplay. And then that guy's like, see? And I'm like, man, everybody's fucking...
What were they thinking?
Thanks, James Rolfe.
It's just at this point where I just assume everything I see is fake until a streamer has it.
That's fair. At least these games aren't made by Ubisoft, so, there's some credence.
At least you can trust EA trailers for games. They're always made from gameplay, very accurate and well thought out.
I am ready to believe in EA in a day.
for the Fallen Order, eh?
Yeah.
So did you have something, or can I immediately go into shit talking EA?
I'm just gonna very briefly go. I think now that Ghost of Tsushima's, I was gonna say this before. I think The Last of Us by the end of the year, they just don't want to talk about it because they need Days Gone to sell any copies. And if, dude, you can't be talking about...
The moment you even approach mentioning The Last of Us, the freakers turn into dust like the Avengers.
People won't even consider buying that game if they realize The Last of Us 2 is coming.
They have to be nice to Deacon St. John.
Watch, The Last of Us 2 is scheduled for June. They don't want to say anything.
The only reason that game was even shown at E3 last year is because their shit fucked up and they needed to run their, if this plan fails, play the sizzle reel as we abort sizzle reel.
Yeah. No.
I
realize that's a thing, and I'm still going with this. Otherwise, there's no reason you would go 10 fucking months not talking about a game at all.
Correct.
I was going to say, well, what about Days Gone? But they technically talked about it on the State of Play. Yeah. So that's only 9 months.
Not only that, they talked about it a shitload. They've talked about Days Gone more than The Last of Us at this point. They had the February Game Informer thing. They had the E3 sizzle reel. They had more E3 stuff if you watched, PlayStation's own broadcast.
That Game Informer coverage was a bunch. The first full hour of the game uncut.
And it was 14 months before the game's going to ship.
Yep.
What the fuck?
We just had that big preview blowout in March.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they flew out some streamers to play it, I think.
Yeah, it's we've seen so fucking much of Days Gone. They keep showing it off. They keep talking about it. The thing is, the game doesn't look that incredible, so it doesn't leave an impact like a Last of Us trailer does.
Yeah, no.
Or Ghost of Tsushima.
Think that we haven't seen much of Days Gone because no one gives a shit about Days Gone.
Won't it be fucking incredible if I play that because I'm going to be the only one who actually does? And then I'm just like, that game's incredible. 10 out of 10.
Spoiler cast.
I think he's talking about for the sake of his Twitter, but yeah, no, we were going to play it first, asshole.
I think he thinks it's a bit, and we are going to play it.
We're all
duping
playing
him
it
doing it.
for a show.
Okay, for one, let's be very clear about the genesis of this. I was going to play. I am Spartacus.
You are, and I decided that I need to
Also die on
you
the
and
hill.
chain everyone else with us.
I like how on Twitter today someone's like, I saw a trailer for for Days Gone. I looked away and I forgot everything I saw.
It's true. Like, I saw that. I was like, yeah,
Imagine
no, that's
playing
what it
a
is.
game of that type.
Yeah, it's called Assassin's Creed. Just at the end of
This feels even less remarkable to me than Assassin's Creed.
I hope what happens is I sit down because I've made some major life changes, so I have more free time to dedicate for the channel. I hope I do a large marathon of this game, and I get up and my brain feels like I've been in a sensory deprivation chamber, and I feel refreshed.
Is this the newest game that you're going to like marathon through since Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah,
No, he played
I guess.
DMC 5.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, okay, because man, what a jump that would have been from
I mean-
Donald Duck to Deacon Saint Duck.
Shake it, Mickey.
Oh God.
Gosh. But yeah, okay, I'm done. I think The Last of Us is coming in the next year. But I do think something's coming out by the end of the year, because can you imagine this year from Sony is here's Days Gone and Medieval and
I could easily see.
I guess Dreams.
Oh, Crash Team Racing also,
That's not even.
That's
which is
multi-plat.
yeah,
which is
that's Activision.
multi-plat now, but they had it first, so they get a little bit of credit.
They're gonna have a big video game.
We need
I
to
still
have,
want to believe in Ghost of Tsushima.
me too. I
Because
absolutely
writing
believe
has
that.
never stopped those guys, Sucker Punch, from releasing a game. They will release it in any state
Wouldn't it be
rating wise.
so funny if
They will release a fucking game with the most brain dead fucking writing possible, which just like, you're the bad guy, grandma disappointed, blow up Native Americans.
Yes.
It's also
and now
sorry
all
to
they need to
anyone
write-
who was interested in seeing the rest of our infamous Second Son Let's Play. I kind of spoiled it a bit.
And this time they don't even write good and bad. They just write samurai or ninja. So it'd be almost identical.
Oh my god, can you imagine that that's what's holding up the writing? That they just wrote a bunch of shit. They're like, I don't know how to write on the moral compass. I don't know how to write on the moral compass that is samurai versus ninja. Jesus fucking Christ. Hey, Phil, you got some more news.
So Bob,
What's up?
the game Breach is shutting down.
What's that?
Breach?
Oh no.
I don't know what that is. I
Not to
actually.
be confused with Into the Breach.
Okay,
Right.
let me clarify something. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Maybe this doesn't clarify anything at all, I'm now realizing. Bob,
What's up?
Breach is a video game I heard another gaming podcast talk about for 12 to 15 minutes, and I still don't know what it is.
Is this the thing that we're supposed to do when we hit 3,500 on the Patreon?
Oh, man. It's really close. Maybe
Breach.
it ties in.
Breach.
So Breach is
Lynch
like
is canceled?
Oh.
That's sad.
Oh.
What'll happen to Ichigo?
What'll happen to strawberries? So what the fuck is Breach?
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm looking at a summary of the gameplay because I knew what it was, but I didn't know how to describe the gameplay. I still don't know how to describe the gameplay.
Okay.
Is it
I'm
Rainbow
gonna figure
Six?
this out.
It seems to be like it's like a Destiny type game, but it plays like Diablo, and you can have 4 people with you at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was made by BioWare, ex-BioWare, and EA devs. It left early access. No, it entered early access in like January, and it's already gone.
I'm watching
Wow.
gameplay of this. It reminds me of, and this is really weird, but Guns the Duel a bit. Bob, look at just how the movement looks.
I see what you mean, but I don't
It's
see
got
it
a
running
real-
on walls or shooting guys.
No.
so it's lame.
Sorry, let me clarify. Guns the Duel 2.
Oh, yeah. That bad one.
It's got a real Korean free-to-play shooter energy, and I don't know, man. I didn't even know this game existed. It showed up just in time on my radar to die.
It's one of those games that just falls through public consciousness entirely and just splatters on the rocks of eternity.
The top
Games as a Service is great.
yes, it is. The
That was
top
like
return.
pottery.
The top return via Google is some YouTuber I've never heard of, who I guess is successful, and he may be one of the few videos that has a decent amount of views. Oh, IGN did a review. Never mind. Yeah, that looks like they didn't really make much of a splash. Jeez, no wonder they're shutting down. Did IGN really just start? Okay, no, IGN did not review that. They reviewed Into the Breach.
Okay, that makes more sense.
They did,
Yeah.
they did gameplay segments and stuff on it, though.
Okay.
By the way, if
They
anyone was
reviewed a
curious,
video game, not a non-video game.
if anyone was curious, Into the Breach got a 9.0, and they put that in the thumbnail, which I guess is a thing they do now, which is amazing.
Raw.
No, they put 9.0 on all
Oh
the
my
thumbnails.
god,
That'd be great.
This was them copying the original concepts of Shadow Realms.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, the multiplayer thing BioWare announced in 2014 that never went anywhere.
Oh.
Didn't Shadowrun
What?
So the
Awakening
team,
come out?
so people from BioWare believed in it so strongly they left, made it, and it smashed into the wall at hyperspeed and evaporated into flame.
So I did better than Anthem.
You know what? Anthem hasn't been out 4 months yet. We have to see if it survives longer or less time.
Or if he just gives up wholesale.
I mean, they canceled that GDC last year.
You know what? People would remember the Days Gone demos if they involved some man playing an instrument from another country on stage and then got a giant controversy about how he wasn't the right race to be playing that instrument on stage.
And then I think somebody was like, yeah, he's one of like 3 masters of that instrument in the entire world.
And then it was like, oh, geez, the people calling other people racist were racists. Who would have known? Whoops.
Is there any race you could roll out and have play a banjo and not be okay?
I guess if you had the person talk, you could tell it was like a Russian, and people would probably feel a little weird about that.
Okay.
It's just like, why is this Russian person playing a banjo? I'm angry. Don't tread on my banjo.
My name's Dan Video Games, and I'm mad.
That's the new intro for the Rant is Go.
So speaking of EA, Jason Schreier, press sneak fuck, put out another article this week that is just Anthem's development was a tire fire. Now here's why Dragon Age 4 isn't real. And it's just him talking to people at BioWare who would surely be fired instantly if any of them were caught talking to him after their response to the last article.
Right.
Oh.
And it's just here's thoughts on Dragon Age 4, and oh boy.
Is it Dark Souls like you said it would be?
Half of them are stuff like, quote, it doesn't matter what I say because it won't be in the game in 2 years.
Oh my god.
Well, that's,
And the other half is like the worst ideas I have ever heard in my entire life.
What?
Where it's stuff
I
like
read that. Oh.
What?
one of the things we considered was having co-op and people drop in and control your party members. Or like the outcome of quests will change based on what everybody in the world decided instead of what you pick for your game.
I have a question about Dragon Age. Isn't this supposed to be like a single player RPG experience and not
Yes.
a nightmare video game?
Casey, it's 2019. Everything is a nightmare video game.
It has to be innovative. It can't be good.
Japanese games are cool. They don't do this to me.
Yeah,
Katie,
Days Gone looks pretty good.
Did you know that Dragon Age Inquisition had a multiplayer with loot boxes?
So, Phil, what else happened in this Dragon Age 4 article?
I mean, I could just read it, but I condensed the 2 big points, which are 1, horrible ideas, and other, it doesn't matter what I say because our company is so terribly managed that anything I say will be completely discarded by the time we get around to this. Oh, and also the part where, like, apparently all discussions about the game are just ignoring the fact that Dragon Age Inquisition had a hard sequel hook in the sense that you literally cannot do anything but what that said.
Yeah.
Oh.
But none of the story ideas that were mentioned in this article were doing that.
Well, yeah, they want you to be inquisiting about why that wasn't followed up on.
Oh,
Yeah, they
you
want
card.
Here's a spoiler for a 4-year-old game.
Ah!
Okay.
Oh, no!
The-
Bob, quick,
the
get
DL
the censor sound! It's an RPG that's getting spoiled!
That's it. I'm taking off my
DLC
pants.
The DLC of Dragon Quest Inquisition literally ends with one of your party members revealing he's the ancient evil and is going to tear down the barrier between life and death and kill everyone, and then he teleports away, and that's the very last thing in Dragon Age Inquisition.
What a great writer.
So
That was the writer there.
So there's gonna be like, no, this is no, Bob. None of those writers are still at BioWare. They're all gone.
Actually, no. If I recall, well, oh wait, never mind. He bailed like 9 months before the game shipped. Anthem is a cloud dimension unto itself.
And the one that came back is a Mass Effect guy, not a Dragon Age guy.
Yeah, I know.
You can't escape, Dan. It's all bad.
This is so fucking. I like.
He's just taking some shit this
I like
past
how,
couple of
like-
weeks. That Star Wars game better look good.
Like since the debut of Anthem at E3, me and Bob were like, "That's not the game. Stop getting excited, everyone. You have no idea how fucked that game is." And then this shit comes out, and we're like, "We had no idea how fucked this game was."
And that knocked you on your ass, and you were prepared for it to be bad.
Yeah, I was expected for it to be like Destiny levels of fucked up, like patch shit together at the last second. Oh my god, please God. Not
The best way to put it is we were stunned by how many clowns EA fit in that little car.
but hey,
That
those
was
clown
shoes.
those clowns can fly. That's why that game got greenlit. God damn it. Let's talk about anything other than Anthem. It's a real fucking bummer.
Do you think
Do
Dragon
we have
Age
any
Man
good
can fly?
news?
You can
think-
change your PSN name now after 12 years. No, 14 years, actually. You can change your PSN name now. I have already changed mine. The
What was your
darkness
old
has
name?
been purged. I'm not going to tell you.
Can you at least allude to it?
No.
No, don't do that. I've told you why you need to not do that. But it's been just barely under 13 years, so it's been 12 and a half. Hey
I
Bob.
also changed my name.
Hey Bob, how's it feel
Didn't
to
the
know
PS
12 Bob, how does it feel to know the 12 and a half years younger version of yourself is so good at naming names that you don't live every day of your life wishing you could change that name?
Yes, it's nice.
It's all right.
we got it in day one, and we're like, let's make good names.
And then we did that. Unlike everyone else on the internet, judging by Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah, there are some bad names from Sasuke XXX to My Mouth 23.
What was yours, KZ?
Mine was my old YouTube name shortened, and then I decided that hey, maybe I should be the actual proper branding, so I changed it over to KZ Excellent.
Because I've heard that there's weirdness around changing this.
like
there's still problems that could happen.
They're gonna
fixed
steal all my
almost
property.
All of it. They fixed almost all of it. There's like 10 games where it might not sync trophies properly, or it might show your old name in multiplayer. And there's like 4, and they're almost all free to play multiplayer games where it's like there might be problems with like microtransactions you may have bought,
All right,
but I don't play any of those games, so
yeah, as long as there's a
care.
list.
The only game that I care about at all that was on this was Bloodborne, and it was just in the your old name might show up. And I was like, Bloodborne's multiplayer never worked to begin with, so I don't care.
Yeehaw!
Like, did everybody here play Bloodborne?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were you invaded a single time?
no,
Yeah, I actually was invaded several times late game. Like, once the people with bells started showing up, I started seeing that a lot more.
I don't think those are actually players.
Hey Bob,
hey
Bob,
real
were you
players.
invaded? Yeah? No?
that's a classic feel.
Somebody told me that no, those aren't real players. So I guess some must be, and if they're you're not online, they summon fake ones. But like, I don't know how to invade in that game.
I know that.
I don't even know how to.
friend of the
I don't
channel,
even know how to summon actual
Fuck the
players for
evil
help.
conch of evil.
Eric. He played most of that game multiplayer, I believe.
Yeah.
So he can. Or it co-op worked fine. That's what he wanted from it.
I didn't figure out co-op until after I finished it, basically.
Imagine you needed that
I
in
never
order
figured
to
out
finish.
co-op. I mean, there's certain bosses when I'm playing that game that I'll absolutely summon. They didn't add that till later, though. They added NPC summons outside almost every boss eventually, because they're like, people say it's too hard. Okay, put in free help you can summon.
Huh. Yeah, I only saw those in the DLC ones. I guess they must have gone back and added them to
They
the
added
parts.
them. They added them to some. It's at least some bosses, because now whenever I play it, I'm like, I don't want to fight the blood-starved beast, so I'll summon the other guy to distract the blood-starved beast while I stab his asshole.
It's fair.
His butthole.
That boss sucks.
I actually didn't have that much trouble with him, but I think I found him late. That is
No, he's mandatory. You have to beat him at a certain time.
okay.
So
He's the guy that just starts vomiting poison everywhere when he's at half health.
Yeah.
random bit of news here, but what was it? The God of War Post-Mortem done by Cory Barlog became free to watch on YouTube on GDC's account.
Nice.
I haven't beaten that game, so I stopped watching it after a bit, but I was being driven insane by something in his slides, and randomly just now while you guys were having that conversation, I confirmed my suspicion. Cory Barlog misspelled an upper-level executive's name at Sony multiple times in the first 2 minutes of that fucking thing. And I'm like, that's not how his name's spelled. And he just keeps saying his name correctly, but showing a misspelling. And I'm like, there's no way I've gone like this long not knowing how this fucker's name is spelled. And it's not some Japanese guy. His name's just Scott Rhodey, but he just wrote Road. I'm
like R-O-A-D?
No, R-H-O-D-E. Like if that was a name, it would be Rhodes, right?
Right.
No, just Road. But he kept saying his name right. Anyway, I'm sorry. But yeah, that post-mortem's interesting. He talks about and this is the single most important part of this. Bob, this is why I'm bringing it up here.
Okay.
This was in my mental notes. My mental notes, not as good as written notes. Should have written it down. Bob, do you know how Cory Barlog stepped into Sony Santa Monica and within 4 weeks made a demo that greenlit the new God of War?
Wait, how?
He did it by going to Sony with this 4-week demo, putting a thing at the bottom of the title screen that said, this is a 4-week demo. And he looked Shuhei straight in the fucking eye and said, this game will get Game of the Year.
Oh my god!
No.
He said, I was full of it. I had no idea how we would do that, but I said it anyway.
Okay,
That
Cory
explains a
Barlog.
lot. That explained, and then it did. So this man has an excellent idea of what you have to put in your game to get Game of the Year.
Bob,
I
Bob,
have
That
a new
was a
bit for every
fantastic
time.
game. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Bob has a new bit for every time.
Yeah, it's like an 8.
No
It's
one,
like an 8, which is good for Sony first party title.
no one can debate you on it, Bob,
Fantastic
because
writing
God
and
of War
story.
did it. So how the hell? Who are we to tell you won't get Game of the Year?
Right?
For those who didn't watch the Armchair Desk for Tony Hawk, Bob gets a closing statement, and then all he says is, Tony Hawk Decades will get Game of the Year, and everyone loses it. And within a week of that episode coming out, that God of War Post-Mortem comes out, and that's what he says. And I fucking lose it at like 7 a.m. in my car driving home. I'm like, how is this real? I live in a cloud dimension.
Clearly, I need to go work at a studio.
You do.
I mean, have you seen your drawings? Yeah, you do. This is a new Kratos. He wears a
You're
biker
used
helmet.
to being overworked, just like Cory Barlog.
This is the new Kratos. He wears a biker helmet and his arm made of energy chains. So, Phil, I hear that Octopath is coming to PC.
Yeah, Octopath Traveler is coming to PC.
Fantastic. It'll run
this
well.
summer, I think. It'll run well.
And
I mean,
run in a higher resolution.
As someone who
hopefully.
basically beat that game, I'm excited for the PC version to see what they could do with it. Like maybe mod extra stuff into it. Maybe a fast forward feature could be modded into that game.
I didn't realize you beat
That
that,
would fix
game.
a lot of my issues with it because that game's battle system on random enemies is fucking slow.
It's called traditional.
Huh, that's surprising just because like it seems to take a lot of information from Bravely Default, and that was really good about just, hit that fast forward button and get this thing done.
Yeah, it takes a lot of ideas from that type of game, but doesn't have any of the quality of life stuff it had, like being able to control the amount of random encounters you get.
Oh yeah, that was really nice.
You can't toggle that at all, so it's more traditional. And battles are always about like breaking the shield points of an enemy, and then you can deal real damage to it. Mm-hmm. So it ends up just being really slower, and it just makes grinding levels in that game not particularly fun at all, because you have to engage way too much even with the normal trash enemies in that game. So
I'm going to here's a hot take. If your players need the ability to control the rate of random encounters, your balance is fucked.
I want to be able to control that in any turn-based game, so I'm a bad example.
I mean, that like I played through all of Bravely Default without using that.
I think
feature.
Persona 5 is the only game where I think that the turn-based battle speed feels just right.
I didn't say anything about speed, because I think most of those games could use it. I just mean being able to control how often random encounters balance your encounter rate right.
Oh, yeah. They're specifically gunning for, this is how the classic games did it. Equip this thing so it's not horrid.
Yeah. Why are we doing this? Old games did it. Well, why did they do it? Oh.
Well, I mean, you have to have random encounters to, if you have that system, you have to be encountering enough to actually level up. So, like,
adjust the experience rate so you get more per fight.
Yeah, they could do that.
It's a little too often on its normal thing, but you get a skill that just almost immediately that lets you reduce it. So I don't think it's
like, I've played many
huge.
JRPGs where I did not feel like I had too many encounters, and I never grinded a single time, and I was always at a perfect level. And that's what I feel like they should shoot for.
Right.
That level of just good.
And that's kind of how I felt going through, like the first Default. I never felt the need to turn that stuff on. But, yeah, I don't know. It's been a while, and I didn't do much of 2.
Last thing, almost unpronounceable video game, Utawarerumono Zan is coming to the West.
You got
by
it.
Nisa.
I would have fucked that up immediately.
Man, that is as rough as the time I tried to tell Bob about my favorite anime.
You know, in hindsight, we should have had Bob try to pronounce that.
Utawarerumono Zan. Man, Bob, that was excellent. Good
Anyway,
job.
it's a Muso-esque remake of a old visual novel that came out in like 2002.
Weird.
And this is a big deal because 2 and 3 got localized. So the only one that we've never had in any form is the first one. And this is a weird remake of the first one. So it'll be nice to be able to have the entire series finally, legally anyway. You could go get the translation patch for the PC version of it for like a decade.
Yeah, I mean, the other 2 games I heard were kind of like really simple strategy games between the visual novel.
It's a visual. It's primarily a visual novel, and then they just have like really simple gameplay segments in between.
So maybe Dynasty Warriors is more fitting to this. Maybe this will make it more enjoyable. I don't know.
I mean, I know a lot of people who really love those games, and I think even having like a really simple gameplay can be enhanced a lot by context, which is an idea that a lot of people don't seem to acknowledge.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that I'll be able to play this without having to bother to try to get a Japanese PC game working, because that's always a pain in the ass.
I remember doing it for Belty Blood. It was good times.
I did it for all the East PC games because they all had translations before. XC did them.
Right.
And all of those were huge pains in the ass.
I'm sure doing that for an RPG is a lot different from getting a fighting game to work.
And then you try to install it and it's all in Japanese. Or since this was like 2007 and all the language packs didn't come with Windows by default, it would be an installer of all question marks, but not normal question marks, like weird, scary alternate question marks.
Yeah, that and underscores.
And squares.
Yes,
Squares was fast.
Squares. But man, that's weird. You said that Utora Rumano game is like a visual novel originally, and now it's becoming a Musou game?
It's a visual novel with very simplistic strategy RPG segments in between.
That's really
interspersed.
weird.
And now they're making a Musou-esque action game remake. I'm assuming it's going to be like Fate Extella, where there's just like 4 hours of visual novel shit in between levels.
Wow. Yeah, that had a lot, and it was really bad. So I'm hoping this has a.
And they made.
I assume it's got a better story.
And they made the sequel. Oh well, Bob. Fate Extella is the third game in the series. You can't just start there. You have to go play Fate Extra on the PSP, and then Fate CCC, which never got localized because a woman unbirths the Earth in it.
What?
Look.
Yes, this is why that game never got localized, because the final boss of Fate Extra CCC, the second PSP game, her Noble Phantasm, which is the super moves in the Fate series, is becoming a giant and then masturbating herself with the planet Earth.
Japan.
And her entire thing is that she unbirths people.
You know, my favorite thing about Fate is that people go, it's really good, and then some embarrassing part pops out of it. It's like, this is really good, but also it's porn. This is really good, but this game has an unbirthed masturbating planet thing.
I think that most of it's now relegated to this awful sub-series that is the extra stuff. Like all that digital nonsense.
Well, there's more. Let's not get into Fate, but
Please.
let's not get too deep. But even Fate Stay Night, which is the first visual novel, has really embarrassing shit.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, look at the art.
Are we ready to move
barely
on?
above Planot.
Yes, I'm
Although
great.
I do think it's funny that KZ's artist Bird, because that character that I just mentioned is now highly relevant in the mobile game,
Oh no.
drew her and was like, I felt filthy sketching her.
Oh, that's the one you were calling him a degenerate over.
So, KZ, what do you have coming out in the next week on your channel? And if it has the word fate in it, I'm going to end the podcast.
No, it doesn't involve that at all. I'm continuing Tales of Vesperia, which I've been going through for the past couple of weeks. Enjoying that. Feels suggestion in a previous podcast was correct. I ran into a dog. It killed me, so I just popped the thing that made me level up, and I felt better. Got that done.
Okay.
How did you like the complete fuck you the developers give to you, where the hardest boss in the entire game is this early boss, and when you beat it, one of your party members says, it didn't even put up a fight.
I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. We're gonna put this boss out here that is so fucking hard and like deals a third of your health on one hit. Also, the save point before it doesn't heal you either. They were off the goop with what they were doing there. Everything else has been perfectly fine. I'll be continuing that, and that seems to be about it in terms of content, because by the time this comes out, the supercut of the Lords of Shadow stream will be out. So I guess some point this week, the Mirror of Fate one will potentially happen.
Hey, man, we don't know. Maybe the Mirror of Fate's
Potentially
goal won't be met.
Hey, you can feel like that for the first couple of minutes of the stream, and then you put your head down. We get to that point in the Mega Man Maker live stream where you're just not on the screen for the first like 2 hours. You're in the back in pain.
No, Mirror of Fate won't make him cry when he has to play it. Lords of Shadow 2 will be the one that makes him cry.
They're both gonna make him cry.
I'm just going to drink during Lords of Shadow 2. I don't know what you're talking about.
But how will you do the rat stealth?
I'll
Poorly.
wait. I won't even be there. Oh no.
For Lords of Shadow 2?
Yeah, I think that I won't be back till late for that one too, unless I can get it off or something. I might be able to.
Don't worry, Bob. That game's going to be 20 hours long, so you'll have plenty of time to show
That's
up.
true. I'll show up, but he'll.
Don't worry, Dan. I'll be there.
Bob gets off easy video games. It's like, we're doing the DLC 2, right? By the way, I won't be there for that.
Just
Look,
making that
Dan,
ball and chain even heavier for you.
It is literally even worse if I am there do miss the beginning, because that means I wake up at 7 a.m, do my entire 9 to 10 hour shift at work, then come home to Lords of Shadows for another 10 hours. And I might die.
So you're
You get
saying
to go to work on an hour of sleep.
Yes.
Like last
so you're
time.
saying I should push the stream back so we can make this a reality. Got it.
So it really sounds like you guys made some really good choices in life when it comes to things you need to do. You're still prepping fucking Castlevania May, yeah.
Castlevania.
I can't wait
It's
until
not
the
that
next
hard.
time you do a Mega Man month so I can goad you into doing a single stream setting of Command Mission.
No.
Maybe by then I'll be able to take the time off to actually suffer that also.
Even he says it's suffering it.
It's not.
I wouldn't want to play it all in one sitting. It's like it'd be like 25 hours.
Sounds like a blast.
Anything else, KZ?
No, that seems to be about it.
Let's see. What do we have coming out in the next week? Well, we potentially have that Mirror of Fate stream after we do a Mega Man Maker Live on Friday.
No telling if that'll happen though.
No idea with any of that.
But the way it's gonna be fun. By the time this comes out, it may have already happened then.
Bob and I are going to be producing some Castlevania stuff, so those live streams are going to kind of be it outside of the podcasts, and that's kind of how the rest of this month was probably going to go, because we need to get it out ahead
Don't worry,
of
everybody.
Castlevania.
You'll get like 75 videos in May.
Something like that, sure.
Oh no.
Yeah, and that's it for now.
There's also, of course, there'll be a cursed content. Is it cursed content? Cursed content on Wednesday.
Is that right?
Something
Yeah,
comes
it's
out on
cursed
Wednesday.
content.
I have to reference the calendar before I open my mouth.
Yeah.
And if it comes out in
Thursday.
the same order we recorded it, it'll be cursed content.
Thursday, and yes.
Oh, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
Yes.
As,
Speaking of which, I
Variety
should.
show is Thursday now.
Yeah, and big thing's always going to be on Mondays. Yep. Sustainability. That's important.
Will the Patreon show be up before next Monday? Is that will be up before the 22nd?
I've got a lot going on right now. It should be.
Don't worry
forget
about
about
it
taxes.
then. We'll
Yeah.
you'll
That's
be able
all
to
I
tell from
actually.
any of our Twitter accounts.
That's what I actually care about right now. Doing the GigaBoots taxes in time to not be arrested for YouTube crimes.
Just need to file for an extension. It'll be fine, Dan.
Yep.
Give me an extension.
some-
That'll cost $5. What? Is this Mega Man Maker?
You get 20 more minutes to
You gotta
file
do
your
your
taxes.
taxes in time or your taxes crash.
Star Falcon come in and pay $25 to just give me, I don't know, hours of time on my taxes. But yeah, that's about it for the next week. Whether or not that Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate stream and Lords of Shadow 2 stream happen are going to be really interesting. And I should have more games to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making some changes to get this podcast out on a normal regular time.
We're making changes
In
so
theory.
our schedule can be consistent and Dan can live.
In theory.
And to a lesser extent, me and Bob and KZ can live.
Wait, I'm living more than you guys? Oh my god, KZ, are you a zombie
No,
now?
to a lesser extent, it is freeing us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I keep trying to let Bob free. I leave the door open and I point at it and I go, shoo. And he won't
Get
fucking
out of
leave.
your own house.
Yeah, I'm trying to let him free. No, KZ, the house is cursed now. Don't you get it?
The OLED was here.
The curse of the OLED.
No, that's why Bob won't leave. He's like, but the OLED's here.
Gotta watch my animes. I'm like, okay, fine, catch up on your anime, and then shoo. Thanks for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. This show, like our other podcasts, is only possible with the generous time our co-hosts have given to us and the equipment we've bought to make it higher quality and easier to produce. Please consider supporting our podcast series on our GigaBoots Podcast Patreon and look forward to more gamer premonitions and Big Think Dimension in the future.